Chloe and I had been in love for 6 years, or so I thought. In the end, it turned out she could never really move past her first love. "Chloe, my wedding is next week. Do you want to come?" I asked her. She froze for a moment when I said it. "Mark," she finally said, "our wedding next week seems way too rushed. Besides, I'm supposed to be on a business trip. How about we just wait until I get back?" I smiled and simply said, "Sure." What she didn't know was that I was, in fact, getting married next week, and the bride wasn't going to be her. 6 years ago, I was the shining star on campus. I wasn't just good-looking, I was also at the top of my class. On top of that, my family background was enviable. My parents ran a successful company, and my grandfather held an important position in the military. I was, without a doubt, a lucky kid born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Chloe, on the other hand, wasn't the kind of stunning beauty that catches your eye instantly when you first meet. She had this gentle charm that you just couldn't ignore. We first met in the book-filled library. That day, she was with her boyfriend, Ryan, picking up some books just as I was leaving. At that moment, we crossed paths by chance, and I accidentally bumped into her. "Oh, I'm really sorry," I apologized quickly, my voice a bit flustered. "It's okay, just be careful next time," she smiled back softly, with a tone that made your heart skip a beat. I hurried away, but faintly heard Ryan joke behind me. "Don't be too gentle, or they'll all fall for you." "I only love you," she replied, lovingly. In that moment, a wave of inexplicable envy filled me, as if I was caught up in their sweetness, and it sparked a desire for romance in me. But just a month later, Chloe showed up out of the blue and confessed to me. I was so shocked I dropped my pen, completely unable to believe what I had just heard. "What did you say?" I asked in disbelief. She repeated herself. "Mark, I want you to be my boyfriend." I just stood there, stunned, before finally blurting out, "Are you crazy?" and storming off. Since then, she waited outside my dorm every single day, carrying carefully prepared breakfasts for me. Despite me throwing them away repeatedly, she never gave up. My roommates teased me. "Mark, she's really into you, isn't she?" "What else could it be?" they pressed. "Bringing breakfast and gifts daily? Sounds like love to me." I just chuckled. "Don't you remember her real boyfriend is Ryan?" But my friends dropped a bombshell. Ryan had dropped out of school after Chloe caught him with another girl. My heart sank. So I'm just a rebound? Winter eventually came, and Chloe kept bringing those warm breakfasts each day. After months of her persistence, it would be a lie to say I wasn't touched. But I couldn't accept being a stand-in for someone else. That day, as she was about to leave, I finally mustered the courage to stop her. "Chloe," she paused, her eyes lighting, up with hope. "Mark, are you saying yes?" I looked her directly in the eyes and asked, "Chloe, I don't want to be anyone's stand-in. I'm just Mark." She tightly held my hand. "Mark, you're unique. It's you that I like. It has nothing to do with anyone else." In that moment, I decided to give her a chance, and to give myself a chance too. I told her if she could show me in the coming month, I would become her boyfriend. 2 months later, we officially became a couple, and I was seen by everyone as lucky in love. Yet deep down, I remained conservative, mainly due to my family background. Even though we were in love, when it came to marriage and intimacy, I always kept that boundary. But it seemed like it was all in my head, because she never tried to get close during those 6 years. She never even stayed in the same room as me. Over those years, I quietly walked behind her and watched her grow from a naive girl into a mature woman. Every late night, I would always ask her, "Chloe, when will we get married?" She would always vaguely reply with work-related reasons, saying everything would fall into place eventually. And so the days passed, year after year, as I patiently held on to dreams of our future together. 6 years came and went without a clear answer from her. Every evening, I found myself sitting alone by the window, watching the distant lights flicker, and I felt an indescribable emptiness. Today marks our 6-year anniversary. She once said she would always remember this date. I prepared a lavish dinner and a carefully chosen gift, waiting quietly for her to come home. But 7:00 p.m. passed, then 8:00 p.m., 9:00 p.m., and finally 10:00 p.m. For 4 whole hours, there wasn't a single call, not even one text. With my phone in hand, just as I was about to dial her number, a message popped up. "You followed her for 6 years. It's about time to let go." My heart raced as I replied, "Who are you?" "Mark, want to know who I am? Let me satisfy your curiosity." Then 5 photos appeared on my phone. I opened them one by one, and in that moment, my breathing stalled. In the photos, Chloe and Ryan were together, kissing and holding each other, even doing some intimate things. "How about now? Remember? See, she still loves me," the message taunted. "They're just pictures. You heard her first," I replied, trying to deny it. "Then listen to this next bit." An audio clip played. "Chloe, who matters? Me or Mark?" "Silly," Chloe's voice said. "Guess who? You'll always be my favorite, and Mark, he's not as important as you. Now be good and give me a kiss." The phone slipped from my grasp, and tears started streaming down my face. "If you don't believe me, head to Moonlight Bar, Suite 202. Half an hour later, I walked to that familiar bar. I had been here countless times before, picking up a drunken Chloe and taking her home. Deep down, I kind of already knew the answer. The feeling was unspeakably bitter. The door to the suite was slightly ajar, and just as I was about to enter, I heard their conversation. I paused, hiding around the corner. "Chloe, it's been 6 years. You're really tough and seem to have some big plans," her best friend Becca joked. Chloe raised an eyebrow and said, "If it wasn't for Mark's family background, do you think I would have left Ryan?" I was struck, listening in disbelief to everything. "Mark's grandfather is a big deal at the military base, and his parents' business is top-notch in J City." Chloe. That was Ryan's voice. In that moment, I realized it all. Chloe and Ryan had never really broken up. I wiped away my tears and turned to leave. "Chloe, you really pulled it off." Back at the apartment, I dumped the carefully prepared dinner and all those heartfelt gifts straight into the trash. Looking at that pile of abandoned items, my heart felt like it was soaked in vinegar, sour and bitter. I had clearly given my heart to the wrong person. After pulling myself together, I walked into the bedroom and called the number that always brought me warmth. My grandpa's. His voice came on quickly, as calm and reassuring as ever. "Who's this? Oh, it's my sweet grandson. What's up? Missing Grandpa today?" My eyes welled up. "Yeah, I miss you, and Mom and Dad." "What happened? Did someone upset you? Tell Grandpa who it is, and I'll go teach them a lesson." "Grandpa," I said, trying to change the subject. "Remember you said there's a beauty in the army? One of your soldiers? Has she gotten married yet?" "Not yet," Grandpa chuckled. "She's picky, doesn't care for any of the guys in the unit. But when I mentioned you, she said she'd like to meet." "Then let's meet, Grandpa. I think I'm ready to settle down," I said softly. Grandpa seemed a bit surprised. "What about your girlfriend?" "We broke up. We weren't right for each other," I replied briefly. Grandpa seemed to understand, and his tone grew softer. "Mark, if you ever feel tired out there, just come back home. Grandpa will always be your strongest support." "Thanks, Grandpa. I'll be back in J City soon, by the day after tomorrow at the latest." In the quiet of the night, just as 1 in the morning struck, Becca's call came in. Just as I expected. "Mark, Chloe's drunk. Can you come pick her up? Same old place." I smirked, thinking, here we go again. "Becca, I'm not feeling well today. Have Chloe stay with you for the night." After a pause, she said, "All right then. I'll send her home tomorrow." After hanging up, I gathered all the clothes and gifts Chloe had given me into a big bag and tossed them in the trash, not regretting a thing. Back inside, I took a hot shower, put on some comfy pajamas, and lay down in bed. Reflecting on the past 6 years, I felt like a fool, easily played by her. It was laughable. I changed my social media profile picture and nickname and blocked my timeline, as if to cut ties with the past. The next morning, when I opened my eyes, I saw Chloe at the foot of my bed, looking at me with guilt. I frowned, my voice a bit hoarse. "When did you get back?" "Just now." Chloe lowered her head. "Mark, I'm sorry about last night. It wasn't intentional. I'll make it up next Sunday." Suppressing the disgust inside, I forced a smile. "It's okay. You're so busy with work. Little things like this don't bother me." Her eyes lit up. "Mark, look." She showed me a watch she bought for me. "Try it on." I took it and said lightly, "How about you help me with it next week? Who cares about your stuff?" This watch was probably something Ryan rejected. "Okay," she agreed, then went to shower and change. Before leaving, she kissed my forehead like usual, and I kissed her cheek. "Come back soon." Once she was gone, I went straight to the bank. I withdrew my cash and canceled our joint account. Next, I stopped by a phone shop, picked a new SIM card, and bought a new phone, gearing up for a fresh start. With everything in place, I called my buddy David to meet up at a cafe. "What? You're leaving? Where to?" David was shocked. I gently tapped his hand, signaling him to stay calm and sit down. "I'm going back to J City. It's my home, my real place." "And you and Chloe?" He hesitated. "What was between us might have been a mistake from the start. It's time to go back to where we each belong." Looking out the window, there was a bitterness in my eyes. "Did she do something to wrong you?" David was frustrated. I paused. "Why do you say that? You're too trusting with her. When she went on her trip, I saw her at a hotel with some guy," David told me quietly. A chill ran through me. "And then they stayed a long while before leaving, and she'd even changed her clothes." His voice was sympathetic. As the coffee cooled in my hand, I stirred it, watching the ripples mirror my swirling emotions. David's words cut like a dull knife across my heart, leaving an indelible mark. Trying to stay collected, I asked, "Are you sure it was her?" David nodded, worried. "I only caught a glimpse, but I know her too well. No mistake." I lowered my head, remembering that Chloe's name, which once filled me with warmth, now just hurt. Taking a deep breath, I tried to bury the pain and quietly said, "Thanks for telling me. Maybe it's fate. Some ties are never meant to last." Feeling less regret after seeing my buddy, I prepared for a life I'd always wanted. As for that old SIM card, I went straight to the store and canceled it without hesitation. I booked a flight to J City online. It was time to go home. In the afternoon, I started cleaning up the place. I packed up everything related to me from the bedroom, bathroom, and living room, and threw it all away. With my suitcase in tow, I stood at the door, taking one last look at the place I'd called home for 6 years. I felt no attachment at all. Turning decisively, I headed back to J City. Once on the plane, as I looked out at the clouds, a strange calm washed over me. Those 6 years are gone, but I'll walk my own path from now on. It's been a whole week since I got home. All week, I haven't given it a single thought. I've just lounged around at home, enjoying good food and sleeping soundly. I got a new phone, living a serene life with no interruptions. One day, as I lay in bed lazily twisting my hair, Mom came in quietly and told me, "Mark, your grandpa says Sarah from the military has some time off and wants to meet you." I turned to her, a little annoyed. "Mom, are you that eager for me to get married?" Mom's expression turned serious. She looked right at me. "Mark, be honest. Did Chloe do something to upset you?" "Why do you ask that?" I asked, surprised. "I know you too well. You were dead set on being with her for 6 years, and suddenly you want to come home. How can I not get curious about that?" Mom sighed. I shook my head. "Mom, she and I just aren't meant to be. She's not my future, and there's really nothing more to say." "All right, I won't push you," she relented, "as long as you've thought it through. Now get up and get ready. You're meeting her this afternoon." "Okay," I nodded. At 3 in the afternoon, Grandpa, Dad, and Mom were all at home, waiting for this woman who was supposedly going to meet me. I was curious about what kind of person would choose such a traditional way to meet. At exactly 3 p.m., she showed up at the door, and I was at a loss for words. She had a straight posture and projected an indescribable air of confidence and grace, even dressed neatly in her military uniform. She greeted Grandpa, her epaulettes glistening in the sun. She looked impressive, walking in with steady steps. Every move she made was strong, radiating the pride and dignity of a soldier. She greeted Grandpa first. "Grandpa, how have you been?" Grandpa laughed heartily. "I've been doing great. It's been a while since you came to visit, hasn't it? Let me introduce you." He grabbed my hand, introducing her. "This is Mark, my grandson. Mark, this is Sarah, the youngest major." Sarah. The name sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. "Mark?" she spoke softly, and her voice was so pleasing. I looked up at her eyes, and in that moment, all the women I'd known paled in comparison. "Sarah, don't scare Mark. Why are you always so reckless?" came a gentle voice from behind her. I turned to see a woman around my mom's age, but she seemed kinder. My mom joyfully introduced me. "See, this is our Mark. Doesn't he look just like you did back then, with those great genes you passed on?" "Of course," my mom replied proudly. "Mark, this is Sarah's mom." "Hi, nice to meet you," I greeted softly. She smiled, handing me a gift box. "This is my gift to you." Just as I was about to refuse, that deep voice spoke again. "Take it. My mom likes you." As night fell, after dinner, Sarah and I took a walk in the quiet garden. "Why did you decide to let go?" Sarah's question was like a gentle breeze softly stirring my heart. I was taken aback. "Let go of what? Why did you go along with your grandpa's plan? Is it because she let you down?" Her eyes held an emotion I couldn't quite understand. "Did Grandpa tell you I had a girlfriend?" I asked, confused. "Have you really moved on?" Sarah's voice was low. 6 years. If I said I had, I wouldn't even believe myself. But I am moving forward. I sighed softly. 6 years had revealed many truths to me. Sarah gazed at me, suddenly asking, "Do you really not remember me?" "Huh?" Do we know each other? I asked, puzzled. There was a hint of disappointment in her eyes. Do you know what this meeting means? Of course, I nodded. If you don't want to go through with this, I'll talk to Grandpa. No need. I trust you because you're a soldier. Soldiers value responsibility, I smiled back. After that night, things settled between our families, and Grandpa finally had peace of mind. The wedding was set for 7 days later. As soon as the invites were printed, I shot a text to my buddy. Getting married next week. Can you come? Of course I'll be there. Best man suits on me. The better be, he joked. I'm asking for time off now. By the way, should I let Chloe, that jerk, know? No, I replied. And tell her why. She's probably busy with Ryan now. The thought amused me, and I picked up my phone to call her. Sure enough, I heard rapid breathing on the other end. I could imagine what she was up to. Hello? Who's this? Her voice sounded weary. Chloe, I'm getting married next week. Want to come? I asked calmly. Chloe hesitated, and then said, Mark, a wedding next week is short notice, and I'm out of town on business. Can we talk when I get back? And why is your number different? I let out a small laugh. All right. Without waiting for her to continue, I hung up the phone. A sarcastic smile formed on my lips. She had no idea my wedding next week wasn't with her. Calling her was just to let her know I was getting married. What she thought about it wasn't my concern. I deleted the call record without hesitation and blocked unknown numbers from calling. That day, Sarah came to pick me up to try on my wedding attire. Sitting in her car, gazing at the blur of scenery rushing past, I felt unusually calm. If you regret this, there's still time to back out, she softly said. What, worried I'd run away? I teased. No, just worried you'll regret it, Sarah replied gently. I raised an eyebrow. Who would regret marrying the youngest and most promising major in the military district? I bet others would be envious. Hearing that, Sarah smiled warmly. Mark, you should smile more. Sarah, you really don't have a boyfriend or someone you like? I asked. It seemed odd. She had everything going for her. No way she was single. There is someone. She glanced at me, but didn't continue. I didn't press further. We went to try on my wedding dress, took wedding photos, and Sarah even helped pick out a ring for me. At that moment, I thought life like this was quite good. The day before the wedding, just as I was about to head out, my phone rang. It was David. He informed me, Chloe might have come to J-City and might look for you. Sure enough, as soon as I stepped out, I bumped into Chloe. Her eyes were panicked. She rushed towards me, grabbing my wrist. Her voice trembled as she asked, Mark, why did you change your number and even your avatar? I chuckled lightly, my gaze icy. Asking now, 2 weeks later, Chloe? Don't you think this is all quite ironic? Chloe was clearly shocked, staring blankly. The day before, David had gone to her, telling her I was getting married. What wedding? She had asked, puzzled. David let out a mocking laugh. What, are you deaf? David, she started, but David cut her off. Chloe, you're truly something else. Mark was with you for 6 years and this is how you treat him? Do you think you're worthy? David accused angrily. Chloe stood stunned. What did I do? David pulled out his phone, showing her the photos and voice recordings, firing them all at her. Don't think about disturbing Mark anymore. He's getting married. Mark! Mark! Chloe nervously cried out, back in the present. I jerked my wrist free, shrugged off my coat, and tossed it into a trash bin nearby without hesitation. Chloe's face went pale instantly. Mark, I don't want anything to do with you. Not even a bit, I said, coldness in my voice. Why? She persisted. Chloe, don't you get it? 6 years with me. Wasn't it tiring? Pretending to break up with Ryan, sneaking around with him. It must have been exhausting, right? I enunciated each word. So from now on, we're both free. If it was tiring, let's return to square one and live our own lives. Her pupils contracted sharply. What do you mean by that? I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Wasn't I clear enough? Oh, and I'm getting married. I asked if you wanted to come to my wedding. Since you're already here, why not have a drink to celebrate? Chloe clearly didn't expect that the wedding I mentioned wasn't with her. Weren't we getting married? She asked, confused. You didn't want to marry me, so why should I force you? Someone else wants to, I replied coldly. Mark, let me explain, she pleaded. Let go, I snapped, cutting her off. Her grip on my wrist was painful. Just as I was about to kick her away, someone rushed over and kicked her hard, sending her to the ground. Chloe fell, clutching her stomach. The force must have been significant. Turning, I saw Sarah standing before me and asked in surprise, Wasn't it supposed to be at 10? Why are you here so early? Let me see your hand, she frowned. I stretched out my hand for her to check. After looking it over, her frown deepened, her face displeased. The moment Chloe saw Sarah, fear filled her eyes. Sarah, the youngest major in J City. Everyone knows about her achievements. Major, Sarah, Chloe mumbled. Sarah's gaze was sharp as a blade, her voice stern. Do you know who I am? Why, yes, Chloe answered, trembling. Good, Sarah said coldly. Since you know me, let me make it clear. Mark is mine now. Stop trying to get close to him. Chloe fled hastily. Sarah, with a steely expression, made a phone call. Yes, that's right. It's Chloe. I don't ever want to see her again. I was curious about what would happen next, but Sarah just smiled and didn't answer. Seeing that, I didn't press further. As night fell, David arrived as planned, and I had him stay at my place. Mark, he said, I looked closely at the invitation today and realized, your bride is Sarah. David's voice was filled with excitement. I smiled slightly. What, is she your new idol now? No way. Don't you remember her? David looked at me in surprise. I scratched my head. Who? Sarah? Do you remember when we went on that trip 8 years ago and ran into those robbers? There was a woman in military uniform who saved us, David explained. As he talked, I vaguely remembered, but I couldn't connect that image to Sarah. You're not going to tell me that was Sarah, are you? I asked, surprised. That's exactly who it was. You were grinning, flashing those big white teeth, saying she was pretty and asking her name and whether she had a boyfriend. David was laughing uncontrollably. No way. Are you sure it was me who asked and not you? I was half skeptical. David rolled his eyes at me. I'm sure it was you who asked. I widened my eyes, just marveling at how amazing fate can be. After David fell asleep, I went back to my room and called Sarah. What's up? Can't sleep? Are you nervous? She asked softly over the phone, her voice comforting me instantly. I cleared my throat and asked, Sarah, did we know each other before? There was silence on the other end for a moment, and then she gently asked, What do you think? I think we probably knew each other, at least from 8 years ago. Sarah, have you been plotting against me since then? I joked. She was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Yeah, I've been plotting against you for a long time. But what about my past? I wasn't there for the last 6 years, she said, but for the many more years to come, I'll be there with you. Did you agree to the family's arrangement because of me? I asked cautiously. Because of you, she responded without hesitation. The next day, the wedding went off as planned. I arranged a makeup artist and hairstylist for Sarah, and they carefully crafted her look. In the mirror, she looked like she'd been sculpted by an artist. Her cheeks had a faint blush, like clouds in the morning glow. Her lashes gently fluttered, like butterflies about to take flight. I wore the black tuxedo she had tailored for me, fitting perfectly. Grandpa, full of contentment, said, "Sarah, you and Mark take good care of each other. That's what matters most." "Grandpa," my voice caught a bit. "Today is your big day, so be happy. And don't cry," Grandpa consoled. "Yeah, I know," I nodded. The wedding took place at the military compound, a decision made after Sarah sought my opinion. She said the compound was full of people who had watched her grow up. Many of them were her comrades, her brothers. She wanted them to witness our happiness. The compound was bustling with enthusiastic guests. "Our major is finally getting married." Seeing these warm-hearted and sincere soldiers, a smile gradually spread across my face. The wedding officiant was a highly esteemed senior officer. Deeply moved, he said, "Being here to witness this happy moment for these two kids is a great honor. I wish you happiness and a large family." "Congratulations," the guests echoed. "Wishing you a long and prosperous life together." Cheers resonated through the crowd. "Major, kiss her! Kiss her!" the guests jeered, chanting in unison. I looked down at Sarah, my eyes full of tenderness, seeking her permission. She bashfully looked down, her cheeks slightly flushing, and nodded softly. I leaned down and tenderly kissed her lips. At that moment, I felt a shiver, like touching electricity. The warmth of her lips made my heart race. She whispered in my ear, "Mark, thank you for being by my side." I whispered back, "Sarah, thank you too, for helping me find where I belong and peace in my heart."